Can I grab these double chocolate cookies too? I wish, but today we're actually following the list. The receipt prints. Ma'am, you just saved $612 and spent $4. Cue applause. Confetti and a single dramatic tear gliding down the cashier's face. Your total was $29,323. You paid $53.11. Welcome to Extreme Couponing, the only universe where a grocery run feels like a military operation and a box of cereal doubles as a political manifesto. At its height, extreme couponing wasn't just reality TV, it was a sport, a spectacle, a full-on belief system. If your faith revolved around getting 92 sticks of deodorant for free, you were a devoted disciple. Viewers sat on their couches, stunned, as suburban parents transformed into logistics commanders armed with 3-ring binders, barcode scanners, and the kind of intensity usually reserved for Black Friday in a bad neighborhood. In a world still shaking from the 2008 recession, this looked like salvation printed in cyan ink. A promise that maybe, just maybe, you could outsmart capitalism with scissors, printer ink, and an unhealthy relationship with store circulars. I struggle to pay full price for anything. Even the stuff that's on sale, it physically hurts. TLC sold the show as empowering, thrifty, inspiring. What they conveniently glossed over was that it was also absolutely unhinged. Because buried under those heroic, I saved 98%. Receipts was a landfill of loopholes, counterfeit coupons, shady tactics, and behavior hovering very close to please rise for the honorable judge. It started with clipping. It ended with court dates. This is how extreme couponing rose from quirky money hack to cultural phenomenon and then crashed into one of the wildest cautionary tales in American consumer culture. So buckle in. We're heading into a world where budgeting flirts with felony. And you have to ask yourself, at what point did saving 90% start costing us our sanity, and maybe our ethics? To understand extreme couponers, you have to start with regular couponers, the harmless ones. The grandmas with dull scissors, a Sunday newspaper, and absolutely zero intention of committing fraud. It goes way back. In 1887, Coca-Cola handed out little paper slips for a free glass of Coke. It was brilliant marketing. Give people something free, get them hooked, and boom, customers for life. By the time the Great Depression hit, coupons weren't just nice to have. They were survival tools. Those tiny rectangles in magazines meant the difference between we're eating and we're improvising dinner. Fast forward to the 1990s and couponing was mainstream. At its peak in 1992, Americans redeemed about 7.9 billion coupons. Clipping wasn't cringe. It was responsible, smart, almost patriotic. Then, the 2008 financial crisis hit. The housing market imploded. Banks were on life support, jobs disappeared, and suddenly saving 50 cents on paper towels wasn't a quirky habit anymore, it was strategy. In 2010, Americans redeemed 3.3 billion coupons and saved $3.7 billion in the process. That's not just clipping. That's a national coping mechanism. And right on cue, TLC stepped in. On December 29, 2010, TLC tested a one-off special called Extreme Couponing. They probably expected a modest late-night audience. Instead, over 2 million people tuned in. Turns out watching someone haul $1,000 worth of groceries out of a store for under $10 is basically crack for the human brain. It was like the Super Bowl if the MVP was a woman with color-coded tabs and 12 hours of sleep debt. By April 2011, TLC had greenlit a full series. Grandma's cute little coupon hobby was officially rebranded as Bloodsport. It stopped being about saving money and became about domination, beating the system, breaking the register, walking out grinning while the total says $4.36 for 3 carts. The fantasy was powerful. If you just tried hard enough, if you clipped, stacked, calculated, and sacrificed enough sleep, you too could strut out of a grocery store a legend. What could possibly go wrong? The answer, everything and fast. From the very first season, veteran couponers, the real ones, were at home squinting at their TVs, thinking, hold on, that's not how any of this works. And they were right. Behind the 13-cent totals and glorious cart pyramids was a steaming pile of fake savings. In the 2011 season premiere, one shopper used coupons meant for large-sized products on smaller items. That tactic has a name in the coupon underground: glitching. It's like Fight Club for frugal people. Everyone knows it exists. No one's supposed to talk about it. Except TLC, who filmed it in HD with dramatic music and turned it into primetime content. At first, the show was messy, unpredictable, and constantly flirting with illegal moves, which, if we're being honest, is part of what made it so entertaining. But the fallout came quickly. Retailers were bending their own rules for good TV. Coupon limits mysteriously disappeared. Double coupon policies stretched into absurdity. One grocery chain later admitted that they structured a transaction specifically to make the savings look more dramatic. What you were seeing wasn't a normal shopping trip, it was theater. Meanwhile, contestants stopped looking like normal people trying to save money and began to resemble coupon cult leaders. Entire garages filled with condiments, shelves lined with shampoo like a mini Walgreens, hundreds of deodorants for people who lived alone. You'd hear things like, "I paid $3.97 for this entire haul." And you'd have to wonder, cool, but you don't have a baby. Why do you own 90 boxes of diapers? By mid-2011, the ethical coupon community had had enough. Blogs and forums turned into forensic labs. People replayed episodes like true crime, pausing and zooming, tracking barcodes, time-stomping every questionable transaction. They called brands, checked store policies, and blew the whistle. A lot of what aired turned out to be impossible or flat-out wrong. The Coupon Information Corporation, the IRS of coupons, issued a public statement condemning the behavior shown on the series. They warned that the show made fraud look normal and hurt honest shoppers when retailers reacted by tightening policies. Then reality got darker than reality TV. In 2012, federal agents shut down a massive counterfeit coupon ring in Phoenix, Arizona, worth around $40 million in fake discounts. The investigation, hilariously and accurately, was named Operation Queen Pin. In 2021, things escalated again when Lori-Ann Tallons, a self-described extreme couponer, was sentenced to 12 years in prison for running a coupon fraud empire valued at over $31 million. Her coupons weren't just forged. They were meticulously forged, think $24.99 off diapers that cost $25. That's not a coupon. That's a glitch in the matrix. Her defense was that she wanted to help struggling families. Noble intentions aside, nothing says charity work like systematically defrauding manufacturers and turning your house into a fake coupon factory. And through all of this, TLC kept airing episodes. Ratings were dropping, but the show limped along like a shopping cart with one busted wheel and 3 expired coupons. Eventually, after scandals, complaints, and criminal cases started piling up, TLC tried to clean up the brand. Less fraud, more feelings. They shifted to smaller hauls, softer storylines, and character-driven episodes. Instead of, "I got 400 bottles of Gatorade for 12 cents, we got, "I'm couponing for my cousin's bridal shower and I just need 11 tubes of toothpaste and some napkins." Heartwarming, maybe. Compelling television, not so much. Reality. TV survives on chaos, and once producers started playing it safe, viewers checked out. By season 4, ratings had nosedived from millions of viewers to under 700,000. The formula had become painfully predictable. An emotional backstory about needing to save hundreds just to get by. An overly complex spreadsheet that looked like NASA mission control. Carts piled higher than most people's rent. A tense checkout sequence with dramatic music and beeping. And then the big reveal. You saved $958. Cue tears, hugs, and a victory montage. Roll credits, repeat next week. What was once jaw-dropping turned into parody. TikTok's roasted coupon Karens. Retail workers vented on Reddit about being traumatized by customers arguing over 20-cent discounts. Reaction channels on YouTube pulled millions of views mocking the show. Meanwhile, real life was changing. Retailers like Target, Walgreens, and Rite Aid tightened their policies. Slammed shut triple stacking, shrank coupon doubling, and slapped limits on everything. The innocent shopper with 1 coupon for toothpaste suddenly felt like a suspect. "Because of this show," one person said, "I get treated like a criminal just for using a coupon on toothpaste." Here's the twist. Couponing itself didn't die, it evolved. Instead of scissors and binders, people turned to cashback apps, browser extensions, automatic promo code generators, and digital rebate platforms. The modern saver doesn't haul a suitcase of inserts to the store. They run Chrome extensions at checkout and upload receipts from their couch. Extreme Couponing, the show, tried to be about smart saving, but it drifted into pure spectacle, where massive stockpiles and questionable tactics replaced realistic strategies. Once your money-saving show openly flirts with fraud, it stops being advice and becomes a circus. By late 2012, TLC quietly shelved the series. No finale, no big farewell, just reruns fading into the background like a coupon that expired years ago, but someone still tries to scan a self-checkout. The saddest part isn't just that the show ended. It's who paid the price. Ethical couponers, the ones who spent years learning store policies, calculating legitimate stacks, and donating extra items to shelters suddenly looked suspicious. People like Jill Cataldo, a respected coupon educator, documented episode after episode showing improper coupon use and called the show what it had become: a sideshow that normalized cutting corners. When a major network glamorizes dodgy tactics, everyone suffers. Stores shrink benefits to protect themselves, manufacturers tighten the fine print, and honest shoppers lose access to generous deals, all because TV needed bigger hauls and crazier totals. The truth is, extreme couponing wasn't 100% garbage. At the center of it all was something real: the need to stretch a dollar, the desire to feel like you're not always losing, the small rush of outsmarting a system designed to drain your wallet. For a while, the show genuinely inspired people. Coupon blogs exploded in popularity, apps and deal forums grew, and people used their savings to help others. One teen famously used coupons to donate over $100,000 worth of products to food banks. That's huge, that's impact. That's the good side of this story. But reality TV doesn't do balanced, it does bigger, louder, more extreme. And when you push any good thing too far, saving money, stunts, storytelling, something eventually snaps. Extreme couponing turned from a clever survival strategy into a spectacle soaked in greed, manipulation, and staged drama. That's its real legacy. A reminder that even the best ideas can rot when you turn them into entertainment and forget about ethics. Can extreme couponing be resurrected? Not in the way it was. The economy is different, policies are stricter, audiences are more cynical, and while people still love a good deal, they also love staying out of prison. So now we're left with the nostalgia. The reruns, the memes, the top 10 coupon hauls. That should have been Crimes compilations, and deep down, a tiny part of us that misses the insanity. Because yes, it was over the top, but it wasn't boring. So next time you're stuck behind someone arguing about a 75-cent coupon on frozen peas, don't roll your eyes too hard. Just take a breath and remember, once upon a time, people that were treated like legends. Subscribe and tell us in the comments, what would you do with 47 bottles of mustard? And absolutely no shame.